Alright YouTube, today we are going to be doing a Kipor 2000 generator. What we're going to do is the carburetor on this, we're going to clean it out. The fuel valve broke off, but the customer needs it right away, so he doesn't have time to wait. So I'm going to bypass the valve with a bit of copper tube between the fuel line up here and the fuel line down here so that he can use it. And then you'll just have to use this as off on for the electric shut off. And I did that with mine, it worked fine. I'm pretty sure this is the same as a EU 2000 fuel cutoff or fuel petcock. I'll look it up, see if I can find one on Amazon for you. Any of the parts that you need for this, I'll put in the description below, like the carburetor. I use a special acid for cleaning. I'll put that in the description below. It's a little trick I got. Yeah, everything, just click on a link, so it'll give you everything you need. Take the cover off. If Philip said, take this air filter cover off. Turn off my heater. It's February here in South Florida, and we woke up in the mid-60s, so I had to turn the heat on. Look at this. It's so green out. Alright, so Philip said, take this guy off. Foam filter, remove. Then you got 1, 2, 3 8mm. Take them out. It's 2 8mm nuts and 8mm bolt. And this should pull right out. There's a little plastic tube on the bottom. You pop that off. There we go. That's out. Now you got a little more room to get to this in here. You see, you got a. Okay, let me turn the flashlight on. Maybe that helps. All right. So we've got fuel line there, and we got a fuel line on the bottom. Let's see if fuel line on the bottom. We're going to take and disconnect them, and then we're going to put a piece of copper between the two. It kind of crumbled out of there. You see, it's just a fuel on off, fuel in, fuel out. So we got the pipe here coming out of the gas tank, or out of the fuel pump, and then we got the pipe down here. Just going to connect the two with the copper line. Alright, so you see, oh here, let me turn the flashlight on. I've got the copper pipe going from the top line to the bottom line. I couldn't get the clamps on because it's too big. It's 1/4-inch pipe. It's on there tight, so it's ready to go. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and do the carburetor. We're going to pull the fuel line off the carburetor right here. Get it off. Out of the way, and then we're going to what is that? Oh, that's cool. Alright, so we're going to pull this all the way out, and then we're not going to disconnect this electrical. We're just going to go ahead and work on this like this. So we'll flip it over, 10mm right there. We're going to take this bowl off. This isn't supposed to be hooked up like this. This is an overflow, and this is a drain. There's supposed to be 2 separate tubes that go down into the bottom of this. So we're going to remove this tube here. I just cut it off. It's because it doesn't go like that. This is overflow, if it ever overflows. If you don't have this overflow draining just down into the bottom of here, like if it gets to a surge too much fuel or something, it just spits out here. If you don't, and this sticks wide open, it'll just flood the engine out and fill it up with gas. Like it'll fill the oil up and everything with gas that comes out of this. So you want to let it just drain down. So I just cut it off, and that'll be fine. Now notice I pulled off the bowl. The O-ring stayed on the bowl. I'm going to leave that on there, because if I pull it off, it's going to swell up, and we don't want that. So we're going to leave it there. If it stays in this side, just leave it right there. Do not pull it out. Just if it starts coming out a little bit, just push it back in. Leave it inside the carb. Don't pull it out. We don't want it to swell or anything. The gaskets stayed on the carburetor. Don't pull them off. Just leave them on there. You don't want to tear a gasket. The least you do, the better. All right. So we're going to go ahead and pull this pin right here out so that we can get the float out. Just pull straight out like that. All right. Now you got your main jet. under where the bolt went right there. And then we have an idle jet. So we're going to get to that too, because that's important. It surges if you don't clean it. So we got the idle screw right there. It's a Phillips or a small flathead. Take the idle screw out. You've got that out. This black piece here is the idle jet. Just get the little flathead screwdriver under there and, you know, give it a twist and pry it right out. Pop straight out of there. If you look in the bottom of it, you'll see that there's a brass jet there as well. This is my trick right here. This is acid. It's 14 karat gold testing solution. So I've tried all of them. The green top's the one you want. I'll put it in the description below. You just click the link. They're super cheap. And this bottle will clean 50, 60 carburetors. I've used all the others. This is the best one. Some of them don't do anything. Some of them eat the aluminum. Some of them eat the jet out. I've tried making my own acid. I tried muriatic. Muriatic melts the freaking carburetor. All right. 4540 Northeast 5th Terrace. Yeah, so you make a left at the light, and your first right is 5th Terrace. He's on the right. Oh, sorry, customer. I've used all kinds of different. Tried making my own acids. This has just been the best. It's in a little eyedropper too, so I'll put it in the description below. What we do is we just put a drop or two of acid right on the jet, and you see it just starts simmering and boiling. It'll clean that jet up nice and clean. And we're going to do the same thing with this guy here. We're going to put a couple of drops inside this tube right here, and it'll simmer and boil. Now we can take this jet out and clean it, but it's not really caked in tar that bad. If you do need to take it out, it's a flathead screw, but honestly, with me using this acid, just put a few more drops in there and get her to fucking go. With me using this acid, it literally, oh, get this freaking tube out of the way. Literally, flashlight, can't see anything, but it literally boils it right out. Alright, now we got that one going. We got two idle circuits. We got this one right here. A couple drops in that one. A couple drops in that one right there. And then we just let them simmer and boil. Make sure you're wearing safety goggles when you're doing this. If you get this stuff on your hands, it will burn. Just rinse it with water. If you get it in your eyes, rinse it with water immediately. Don't panic. Just get it rinsed out with water. It kills the acid right away. Seek medical attention if you have to, if it really fucks your eyes up or anything. But I've gotten it in my eyes, rinsed out with water, and I've been fine. Although I am blind as a bat, but I think that's from years of it. I think the one time you do it, it's going to be all right. Vinyl gloves are the only thing that will withstand these chemicals. Rinse slowly with carb cleaner or brake cleaner. Just very slowly at first. You're just trying to get all the acid kind of rinsed out first, and then you can go with heavier pressure inside the jet here. But I need to use two hands. You're going to go in this jet, in this idle circuit, in this idle circuit, and through this idle jet. Alright, so now, if you look in there now, you'll see that that jet looks brand new now. This jet looks brand new now. Now we're just going to give a good rinsing of the rest of the carburetor in the bowl with carb cleaner or brake cleaner. Just rinse it all out, get all the gunk out of it. Alright, so you got it nice and clean in there. All the carb cleaner out. Nice and clean in here. We're going to rinse off the needle and the float real well. Get it nice and clean. Then we're going to reassemble. Let me get this set up here. And we're going to go ahead and put the float and needle right back in where it belongs, like this. And then put the pin in to hold it all in place. Let's gently put the bowl on. We didn't mess with the gasket at all. We're gonna have to drain towards this side of the carburetor, like so, and just gently, wiggle it around. Make sure you get that gasket to pop in. See, it's kind of kicked out on this side. Make sure you get that gasket to pop in all the way. So just real gentle, get it in, then tighten the bolt down like that. Now we got the idle circuit. This jet's got a flat spots on it, and you see the back side where it goes has got a flat spot, so it goes in where the flat spot, one of the flat spots is sitting against that flat spot in the back. Pushed all the way in there nice and tight. Then we're going to put the idle screw back in, flathead or Phillips head. This goes into about the halfway mark, just like this. All right, and then this gasket here goes on the inside. Make sure there's a gasket between the carburetor and the engine. Green gasket's on the outside, just like so. This can go on the other side of all these hoses down here, no big deal. And that's pretty much that part. We're gonna go ahead and hook the fuel line up to it. Push it all the way on, nice and tight. This drains out, it can drain there. This drains out, drains there. It's all good. Air filter assembly is next. You've got the tube on the back here of the air filter assembly that connects to this tube right here, just like so. And then you can line this up to the carburetor, get it set into place. That all the way in. You got two 8mm nuts. Put them on finger tight. Tight, and then you got the bolt goes on. Once you got them started and finger tight, you can tighten all of them. And you just 8mm tighten all three of them up like that. You'll notice I didn't use these clamps. The 1/4-inch pipe I had in there, the hose barely fit on, and the clamps wouldn't go on it because it's too big around now with that big tube. This is slightly smaller than the 1/4-inch, and it would work on them. So I'm going to go ahead and lay these in the air filter assembly here, so that when I do come back later on for this guy and put a valve in for him, I know that they're in there for me. Go ahead and put your air filter back in place. They'll hold all that in there. This air filter down the bottom here, they'll hold all that in place. Then you can put this guy back on and screw it down. There we go. Everything's all held in place now. Those will not get sucked up into here. I don't give a crap how hard. I mean, if you flip it upside down, maybe you can get it to fall in there, but even that's going to be hard for it to get up in there and around, especially with the foam holding it in place, Tighten it all down. We're going to go through the fluids, but this is off. This is on. It's an electrical switch, kills the spark plug. There's no more fuel on-off valve for now, so he'll be able to use it. It's just a copper pipe. We're going to go ahead and at the very least check the oil. But it's a good time, since you're doing all this, to change the oil. Alright, so check the oil. Look, it's bone dry. Glad we did. We're going to go ahead, drain out what's left over in that, and we're going to drain any gas that's in this thing. Get it all out of there too. Start off fresh and new. We're going to fill the oil all the way up to the top. Summertime I use 10W40. In wintertime I use 10W30. It's a little thinner. And it's supposed to be changed every 100 hours. But at 100 hours this oil is really dark. I like to change it every 50 to 75 hours. You open this up and it's starting to look a little dark. It's less than a quart. It's 3/4 of a quart. You just dump it. You put it on the side of the thing of a table. Put a container on the ground underneath it. Dump it right out of this hole right here. Tilt it sideways. Dump it out, and put less than a quart in there. I mean, $5 a quart. Big deal. You can use synthetic. It doesn't matter. But 10W30 in the winter, 10W40 in the summer. All right. Synthetic oil will last longer, you know. But all right, so that's full. Gas tank has been cleaned out. All right, seems to be running good. It's not wanting to throttle up or down. It's like the electronic throttle. There it goes. It's like the electronic throttle's stuck or something. I guess I'll get some spray oil and spray it in there and see if it moves back and forth easier or not. We'll mess with that a little bit. But that's how you rebuild the carburetor. Everything seems to be working fine other than that. Put the cover back on, you're ready to go. You see it turns on and off with that, and it runs. Everything works the way it's supposed to. I'm going to get some oil in there and see if I can't get that thing to run right too. Alright guys, this help you out in any way, shape, or form, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. If you, again, the acid, anything that you need for this, I'll put in the description below. If you want to do any advertising through my channel, message me. I'll be more than happy to help you. Peace.